Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got in a headlamp to take a look at. This is a newer release from WUBEN and the model is the H4. Headlamps are so useful, whether it's working on your car or a project in your house or around camp or hiking, whatever it might be. I probably have close to 40 headlamps. I keep them in our cars. I keep them in my toolbox. I'm out in the garage. My workbench in the basement. There's just so many uses. A tackle box, I keep them there. My camping tote. Even when we go on vacation, I always put a headlamp in my backpack that I carry with me. This H4 is going to be pretty unique in that it has a floodlight, a spotlight, a red light, multiple color temperatures, can use multiple battery types, and has some other pretty unique features. So stick around if you want to learn about it. We'll do a real quick unboxing. We'll go over all the features and specifications, go over the user interface, give you guys some beam shots, and then give some thoughts on it. So as you can see, we're going to have a max output of 800 lumens. Mine is the black version. They do make this in sand and white as well. Some of the information. But let's get this open up and pull it out. All right, so looks like we have the actual headband or head strap there. A user manual, type A to C charging cable, and the headlamp itself, and I believe there's a battery already in it. Going to quickly show you this manual just in case there are things that I leave out, or in case you buy this light and lose your manual. You can always come back to this video for reference. Looks like the warranty is 1 year on the battery, 5 years on the headlamp itself, and then you can register for a lifetime warranty on it. Give you some close-ups here of the H4. You can see the 3 different LEDs that are in here. This is just like a little sticker telling us that there's a film on the battery that we're going to need to remove. I'll get that off in a minute. Looks like it is serialized. I always appreciate that. Once this is on your head, this will hinge all the way to 90 degrees. It's positive engagement at each of these stops. Like you can really feel it click in there. And then let's go ahead and take a look at that battery and pull that film off. There's that. And then this is the battery that we're going to have here. You can see the USB-C port there. And then let's just say that this empties out. Well, you can actually put AAA batteries in here, 3 of them, and it will work just fine. And we'll try that out here later on. And if I had to guess, you'll probably be able to buy these battery packs separately if you want to have multiples. Right there's the model number. The H4 is made mostly out of plastic. There is some type of like soft, I'm not sure if this is rubber right through here, but it definitely feels different than the rest of the headlamp. It is IP68 waterproof rated, and it is drop tested at 1.2 meters. Grab you some dimensions. We're looking at 2.3 inches in length, 1.6 inches in height, and depth of 1.4 inches. Grab you a weight, 2.8 ounces, 3.4 ounces with the headband. And speaking of that headband, it is branded. It is perforated. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but there's basically like this little grippy stuff that goes around That way once you put it on your head, it will stay in place. So operation of this light is going to be fairly simple. You can see we have a round button up here, and then there's like this textured pad. That's kind of how they separate the two styles of light. So this side's going to be your floodlight, this side's going to be your spotlight. If you want it to come on, you literally just hit the button here. If you want to switch, you can do that at any point. So hopefully you can tell that there's a color temperature difference here between the two as well. The floodlight is, I think, around 4,000 Kelvin, and the spotlight is 6,500. If you want to turn it off, you just hit the button again. So one press on, one press off. So this is on the low right now, which is like 15 lumens. If you want to go through the different brightness levels, you just press and hold. So that is going to be our medium, 150 lumens. Press and hold for high, 300 lumens. And here is a chart with all of the run times, so I don't have to go over every one of them. The spotlight outputs are going to be the exact same. It's 15, 150, 300, and then back to 15. That 300 lumens on high should honestly do just about any task that you would ever need it to. But if you need to get to that 800 lumen turbo, you turn on the floodlight and then you double tap or double press the spotlight, and then that will give you 800 lumens. That only lasts for a minute or two, I think, and then it steps down to like 350 or something. But yeah, that is how you get to both lights on at the same time. This also has that little red LED. You turn that on by long pressing either button. And we're going to have a constant red. If we just hit any button, it will switch between. So now we're at like a beacon or just a steady flash. Again, I can hit either button, and now we're going to go to an SOS. Again, either button will take us back to our constant red. And if you want to shut it off, just long press again. Pretty easy on that. So this H4 actually has some motion sensors. They're calling it gesture sensors. So what you can do is actually turn this light on. When it's on, you can press and hold both buttons at the same time for about a second or two. All right, now this blue light just came on down here. See it here? And what will happen is I can basically wave my hand and it will turn the light on or off. And I can do that with either the spotlight or the floodlight. It does not matter. And if you no longer want to use that feature, you just hit the button and it just shuts it back off. And then now it doesn't work. The H4 also has a battery level indicator. So every time you turn the light on, that will come on right there. You can see that we are solid blue right now. I'll show you that right there. So it means we're basically 90% or higher. You can see the other settings there. If we're basically a solid red, we're somewhere between 40 and 15. And if it's flashing, we're below 15%. And when charging that battery, it looks like there's an indicator on the battery itself here too. So red when charging, blue when fully charged. Put some AAAs in it. Let's make sure everything's going to work fine. Yep. Check to make sure that turbo works. Yep, perfectly fine. To install that headband, you just kind of start and slide it up to the top, and then you will bend this and then bring it in and then do the same thing at the bottom. Just like that. And again, this headband has that like grippy stuff, so headlamp should not move around. Just put it in a different spot, see if it stays in place. Yeah, it seems to really kind of hold the position pretty well. Alright, let's take a look at this WUBEN in the dark. I'm going to start off with the floodlight first. That is the lowest setting right there. Go to the medium next. And the high. Again, floodlight. Switch over to the spotlight next. That's the low. Go up there. You see that's a considerable bump in power. Let's go on it to the high. And now let's do the turbo. Again, that's all the lights on here. And finally we'll do the red. Sometimes the camera has a hard time picking it up. See what it looks like. It looks pretty decent actually. So this is not a great night for testing a flashlight. We got a full moon and it is fairly bright out here already. But we'll still see what this WUBEN looks like outside. There's a row of trees that's about 40 feet or so in front of me right now. I'm going to start off with the floodlight on the lowest setting. Hopefully you can see it there on the driveway. I can definitely see it on the trees, but let's go to the next output here. Yeah, now you can really see the road. I can now see trees that are probably, I don't know, probably 100 feet away at least. Still on the floodlight. Let's go to the highest setting. See, for a small headlamp, it is throwing the light pretty well. And again, I'm on the flood setting. Alright, switching over to the spotlight. That's on the lowest. Let's go ahead and bump this up. That's kind of like our medium output. I think it was, what, 150 lumens or so. And let's go to the 300. There's actually a tree that's kind of back there in between these two. It's about 100 yards away, and I can actually make that out right now. Alright, let's do the turbo here. Turn it on. Double click. Yeah, that's a lot of light. Again, this is coming out of this headlamp. So here you're getting a huge wall of light plus a lot of throw. And finally, we'll see what the red looks like out here. Well, hopefully seeing those nighttime shots was somewhat beneficial for you guys. I was actually really impressed with the overall performance of this little light. There are a lot of things to really like about this, you know, starting off with floodlight, spotlight, and having that red light. Very useful. In all honesty, the 15 lumen low mode or the 150 lumen medium mode will do probably 90 to 95% of the tasks that I need a headlamp to do. But it is nice that you got that 300 lumens, or even bump them both on and go all the way up to 800 lumens. It's a lot of light. Having that motion control or gesture control, I actually really like that feature. You don't have to really fumble with any buttons. Now, if you want to change your output, you still do, but literally just waving your hand in front of it turns the light on for you, turns it off. Like it is a really nice feature. And one thing I don't think I showed earlier is, let's say you're in that gesture mode and you're on the floodlight, you can still switch to the spotlight and still be in the gesture mode, and back and forth. I really like that it comes with this rechargeable battery, but at the same time you can just use regular old AAAs if you want to. I like how they designed the buttons up here so you know exactly which light you're going for. It's clearly round and raised, you know, for the floodlight, and flat and textured for the spotlight. Really like that a lot. This seems to be made really well. Should be pretty durable. I like how this will hinge all the way down to 90 degrees. Headband seems made well. And I like that little grippy stuff that's in there. So once it goes on your head, it stays in place. I also like that user interface, you know, one click on, one click off. Easy to go through all the different modes. You know, as I said, it's a great little light, and there's a lot of things to really like about it. If I could change something on it, I think it would be nice to be able to have the floodlight and the spotlight on, maybe on like all the levels, like 15 lumens, 150, 300, rather than just the turbo. Like if I want to come on in low, but I also want the spotlight to be low, that would be a nice feature. But as it is now, I can only have them both on when I'm on the turbo setting. And then the other thing I'll kind of warn you guys on is, when I first got this, I had a really hard time opening it. I actually had to stop the video because I could not get this thing open. It's a whole lot easier now that I've used it, you know, quite a bit. But yeah, I almost had to like take my nails and kind of pry the two halves apart. This could be a potential weak spot in the design, just because you have to like lift this plastic up to kind of separate it. And with use, I can see this getting really weak through here. And I say that because I have another headlamp that has a similar design, and it broke, I don't know, maybe after 50 or 60 uses or something. And I'm definitely not saying that this is going to break. Just kind of be cautious with that. But overall, I really, really like this headlamp. Would definitely recommend it. They are available on WUBEN's website for $30. And again, they have it in white, a sand color, and black. And then they're also available on Amazon for the same price. And I will leave links to both places in case you guys want to find out more information on the light or pick one up. But alright guys, if you found the video helpful or informative in any way, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.